You ever get stuck by situations when you're driving and realize that the universe don't want you to be great? Well, these two trucks, these two Jeeps, have been riding side by side for the past 10 minutes. Side by side car dating, knowing that I got somewhere to be. And granted, I'm not in a rush to go somewhere, but don't you find it funny when you're in a rush to be somewhere, or you're running late for work, or whatever the case is, and you get stopped by all the traffic lights, you get stuck behind the slowest vehicles, or you run into an accident and you're stuck in traffic? Well, that's what's going on. Thankfully, it sped up just now, but for the past 10 minutes, they've been riding side by side with nobody in front of them. You ever get... I may have a boring life, but one thing I'm gonna do, if I don't do nothing else, is I'm gonna find somebody's nature park to come to. Chattahoochee. Chattahoochee. But it's one of the, like a well-known river in Georgia. I know it spreads pretty far, but we're just out here to relax. I brought my computer with me, so I will be, there was my car over there, right here. I will be working out here, so we'll be relaxing, breathing in some fresh air, and
I got a bee stuck up my nose.
Oh goodness, we talked about that yesterday. Anyway, so I'm gonna be working from this area today, not in my car, but out here in this park. It has a little shed over there, not a shed, but a pavilion where I can just sit and work. And the luxury of working from home, you don't have to work in the same spot, just as long as it's private and reliable. There is nobody here right now. It's just us in nature, and my daughter is always with me anyway, so her presence isn't going to disturb me any more than her being in the house. I've realized that if I ever come to the point where I do date someone and we become serious, they're gonna have to love nature just as much as me, because if I feel like I want to just spontaneously go out and drive to somebody's lake, or go out and drive to somebody's woods or something like that, they're gonna have to be with it. They're gonna have to be with it all the time, because if I have that impulse and I feel like if I don't do it and it just goes away and I don't act on it, I'm probably gonna be frustrated the rest of the day. There's a reason why I need to connect with nature, and as spiritual as it could be, I feel like it's more so just we get so confined with the electronics in our house and the normalcy of being in our homes. Granted, it's comfortable to have a home to go to and you want to utilize everything that's in it, but I'm not like an electronic audio engineer, or I'm not like a person that really relies on TV, because I barely turn my TV on, and if it is on, it's most likely on for her. I don't really turn it on. If I am turning it on, it's like for maybe an hour or so, and even at that, it's just played in the background. I would prefer to be outside with no shoes on, walking in somebody's grass or walking on somebody's rocks, enjoying the weather, whether it be chilly, warm, cold, or hot. It's just something that I've always been into. Growing up, I was like that as well, but lately as an adult, I feel like it's more apparent to do so. When I was growing up, we used to play kickball, softball, dodgeball, jump rope, hopscotch, double dutch, things like that. And nowadays, kids in the community are at home. I don't even know how many children live in my community, because Amelia is always outside by herself riding her bike. We're in the garage or walking around the neighborhood, and everybody else is inside or in school or at their friend's house doing whatever. We don't know how many children are in our neighborhood, because everybody stays secluded, because everyone's in home on their phone or their tablet. Granted, she brings her tablet, she likes Roblox, but she still likes outside. Any chance she can get, she's outside, and I really appreciate that, because I grew up like that. And times are different. Times have definitely changed. Things are less safe. You can't stay out until the street lights come on anymore. When the street lights come on, that was the indication for us that it was time to come inside. And if you don't beat the street lights, then you're past your curfew, and you get yelled at in front of your friends, and nobody wants that. But she don't have that luxury. So another day, another opportunity to produce quality, another day of discovering myself and getting a life. Then I got a package, and I'm sure I know what it is, but I believe it's from my job. Shout out to my job, my coworkers. They're pretty, we are able to get along pretty well, and although it's virtual, we have created friendships, and I'm grateful for my coworkers. So I believe this is from my job. Let's open it up and see. I knew it. It's a squishmallow. And the name is Greer on this one. We like to give each other gifts when we can, just to let each other know that we got each other's back, and just to keep each other motivated. So this one, the name is Greer on this one. It's so cute and it's fluffy. Of course, it's gonna go in my daughter's room because I can't have nothing to myself, but I appreciate it nonetheless. I think so far since I've been at this job, I've gotten so many gifts, so many different things from the company, and then individually from just coworkers. But these gifts are special because if we were in the office now, when I was working in the office, not at this job but at a previous job, we had opportunities to be friends, and we were, some of them, but then others were just like we came and went. But it is special to have a virtual employment, but still treat it like we're best friends in an office public setting. So that's real special to me, and I'm gonna hold this dear to my heart no matter how far I go with this company, which is hopefully as far as I can. I'm gonna always look at it as a great opportunity from start to finish. All right, y'all, I'm back at home. I stayed out there at that park for almost about 2 hours or so, and I realized that it was hot. Not only did I realize it, but Amelia realized it too, and she just did not want to play anymore while I worked from the park bench. Too many bugs for her, and it was just too humid. So we ended up working from the car, which defeated the whole purpose of being outside. But nonetheless, it was still a little getaway. But we're back home, and children are prone to mess up stuff. I remember when I was growing up, my brother, shout out the Reaper if you know him, tag him below, or if you know him of him, comment down below that you're aware of who he is. He used to call me Miss Destructive. That was my nickname. Him and his friend Andre used to call me Miss Destructive as my middle name, and it was because I was just prone to messing up stuff. I broke everything that I touched. I messed up everything that I got, and I guess it was just something that was my character. Growing up now, being a mom and having a child of my own, I realized that it just might be something that kids do. I just got this car. This girl done wasted 2 drinks in it, and I don't know why I gave it to her, but she never wasted water. She never wasted like Sprite or nothing, or clear drinks. But as soon as I gave her one colorful drink, a red one, she spilled it in the car. And I was like, what the heck? I literally just told you to be careful. And as soon as I handed it to her, it splashes everywhere just magically. Today, same thing happened. I said, be careful, put it in a cup holder. I even reached back to put it in a cup holder while the car was still sitting still, so there would be no way that she can mess up. And I put it in the cup holder in the back, and then she moves the straw around some kind of way, and it splashes. Like, what? How does that happen? 5 seconds after that, she has her tablet. I'm like, just give me the juice back. I'll put it back in the cup holder up here. 5 seconds after that, she gets her tablet, and I pull off, and I'm like, all right, whatever. I'll just clean up the car because I'm going to clean it out and make sure it's clean all the time anyway. But we pull off. She's like, dang, oh, mommy, guess what? I just broke the charger. The charger is stuck in my tablet, and it just broke. How? I just bought this charger like 2 weeks ago. How in the heck do you break a charger? I don't know, but for some reason, anything that can go wrong always goes wrong in the presence of a child. So if you know why that's a thing, I think we need to do some research on why children are clumsy. Is it on purpose? Is there something lacking? Or do they just have butterfingers and we just can't control it? But there's got to be some kind of research done on the effects of adolescence and accidents and the correlation between the two, because it's inevitable. No matter how hard you try, no matter how many sources of protection you put around them, they're going to get hurt. No matter how many times you tell them to be careful. Another thing with being careful, that word, that phrase, that well wish of being careful. Every time I go somewhere, my mom is always like, be careful because, you know, anything can happen. And I'm thinking, like, how careful can I be? When somebody wishes you to be careful, are they saying, you know, make sure you're able to use self-defense? Because how careful can I be if I'm at a park as a woman and I have natural weapons around me? Are you telling me that I should know where they are at all times to use them? Are you telling me to just keep my head on the swivel? Are you telling me to be paranoid? Are you just telling me to Like, what does be careful mean? Hey, be careful out there. Okay, what does being careful look like? Should I? This what I imagine when somebody tells me be careful. This what I imagine looks like. What they want you to do is like be careful, and this is how I'm gonna reenact mine and how it processes being careful. All right, so I'm back in the house and um out of the garage. Oh, fun fact: when I was recording from the garage, I was locked out. I forgot my keys, and I realized that I lock my garage door. Now, typically, when I lock my garage door, it's because it's into the night. But we leave out of the garage door, so I have ways to open it when I need to get back in. However, we left out of the front door today, so I completely forgot to do what I need to do to get back into the garage. But I didn't. I didn't. I'm not stuck. I have help. My parents came and helped me, opened up the door, and I'm back in the house. Thankfully, um, thankfully I brought my work equipment because if I didn't, I would have been like out of luck all day until they came. Um, so I am playing in makeup right now while I'm working on other tasks, and I don't know how to do makeup. I just do it because I feel like it's just painting and finding colors that work together. And I know that there's a lot of people out here that do like makeup tutorials. And one thing I cannot understand is how people don't know how to do their own hair. I don't knock it. Like, I know that everybody's not like equipped in that way. And I don't know what made me equipped to be able to do hair. But I guess it's all the same as far as like makeup and hair and stuff like that. Some people know how to do things, some people just don't. And that's what makes the world go around. There are those who don't, those who can, and those who cannot get help from others that know how to do it. But I've never understood the art of making a career out of the normal stuff until I became a hairstylist. Now, before, I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. Before I, of course I mentioned it before, but before I became a corporate baddie, I worked a couple of different jobs here and there, but they all stemmed around being in a salon. And I enjoyed working in a salon because I was just doing what I loved and getting paid for it. And that's how I met some people that I wish I never met before in my life. Doing hair and doing makeup has always been like fun. And I used to do makeup crazy on purpose. And I wish I could insert, I think I can. I'm going to insert a picture here of when I used to do makeup on myself when I was a teenager.
Oh, you're from India? Mm-hmm. What's your name? What's your name? Iguana. Iguana. Very pretty iguana. Very pretty.
So yeah, obviously I didn't know what I was doing, but I still figured it out as time went on. I played in different colors, I played with different looks, and even to this day, I think I still do the same thing, but I just do it more refined, I guess. So when I used to do hair, and it would be like the most simplest things for other people, basic styles or braids or something. I was raised knowing how to do that all through experimenting. I don't knock it that people can't do it because I can't halfway drive a car, but I went to school to learn how to drive a car, and then I went to school to get my license to learn how to do hair legally. So I guess everybody's not meant to do everything, but nonetheless, I don't know how to do makeup. I just play in it, and sometimes it looks good, sometimes it doesn't. Fun fact: I had a guy interested in me. We went on a date. I know I had a series about dating. What was it, 2 years ago? Last year? Whatever year it was. I think it was 2 years ago. And I had talked about dating folks, but I went on a date this year. Yeah, it was this year. Was it this year? Yeah, it was this year. I went on a date with a guy, and if you see my YouTube if you see my TikTok, if you see my Instagram, Facebook, all that stuff, you kind of understand what I look like. I don't do too much different that makes me look like I'm catfishing. I don't none of the pictures that I post are super off from what I look like. Well, me and this guy, and I told him I wasn't gonna talk about him, but we don't talk anymore, so whatever. I don't owe you that. Me and this guy had talked, and we planned to go on a date. We went on the date. The date was cool. We vibed. We went to a little spot that goes well with my liking. It's not a club, it's not a lounge, it wasn't a bar, it wasn't like an arcade or nothing like that. It was a mixture of everything. It was just a social event, and they have them every Monday. Shout out to Controllerize. And it was just and it was cold during this season too. It was like the beginning of the year. So we went to this place. We decided that it was a great place to go because it wasn't expensive. You're not going to run into a bunch of people that you know there, which I should have listened to. But we went to this place. We talked on FaceTime before we went. So this is how I know this is crazy. We FaceTimed each other twice. We sent each other videos. We talked on the phone, texted, followed each other on multiple platforms, even our backup pages. And it was just like cool. Now, mind you, this guy was married and had a young kid previously. He was divorced and had a young kid. So it was already like difficult to fall or like open up to him. But I did enough to say, I'm going to go on a date with you. So we went, and we stayed the entire time that the place was open, from open to close, talking the entire, well, he did most of the talking, but talking the entire time, to a point where I felt like, okay, we getting somewhere. We're going to go on date number 2. We even planned date number 2. Didn't discuss where it was going to be, but we definitely decided that, you know, this isn't going to be the last time we see each other. So walked me to my car. It was cool. It was a very good night, the way we ended the night. And I felt confident about the next day. Well, let me stop looking at my phone. Let me look at the camera, because my phone is deceiving me right now. So we ended the night very well. The next day we talked. Didn't really discuss the night. We were just like, yeah, it was cool. Nice to see you. Got to do it again. Just a random follow-up. Now, mind you, I don't go on dates all the time, so I don't know how they're supposed to work. I don't know what the proper etiquette is. Do you talk about the date? Do you move on? Do you jump into another conversation after that? Whatever. I don't understand how it works. But we continue to talk. About a week out, he said that he had some visitors coming to his house, so he wasn't going to be as social with me, which I understood. But I also understand, you know, you make time for what you want to make time for. So the amount of talking that we did initially, it kind of like set the bar really high on how our communication was going to go, because we were talking like a lot. Now, I don't want to get into like too much detail, but I do want to get into detail. So we talked a lot. We definitely shared a lot in common, and our timing was perfect. So we initially hit it off really well, and we set the bar pretty high as far as communication went. I assumed that he was good at communication, but then I kind of got an inkling of like, I don't know, this guy might be doing the most a little bit too soon. So I took the initiative to remove myself a little bit. Not so much that it made it apparent that like I'm not interested or nothing like that, but it just made me, you know, my assumptions that he was I guess love bombing me or whatever. It was strong. My little inkling, my little women's intuition spiked up, but I felt like he was love bombing me. Anyway, so we went on the date. Everything was fine. And then the week after, he really just stopped talking to me. He said he had company, he couldn't talk. I didn't force him to communicate with me, but I also was like, hey, you need to say something because we are too grown. He was a year older than me. We are too grown to be um, ghosting each other. So I hit him up and I was like, it's fine if you would have not talked to me. I'm not going to have my feelings hurt. We weren't tied into each other. I had no feelings for you. It was just getting to know each other. I just prefer to be told what the issue is so I know how to work on it. Because I'm by no means, I don't feel like I'm perfect. I don't feel like I'm God's greatest gift to man. I know that I'm not as beautiful. Atlanta is full of beautiful women, and this is the age of BBLs and Botox, and I don't have none of them. And with social media being such a pusher of beauty and selling the S word, I don't fall in line with any of that. But I do know that I bring a lot to the table. So he ends up not responding. I asked him again, maybe like that following week, because I think I went somewhere and I had a little bit of liquid courage to just get my truth out. So I asked him again. I was like, you know what? I think it's pretty rude of you to, open up a door that you weren't willing to walk through. Whatever I said poetically, kind of just telling him like, you need to tell me what's going on. He finally responded and gave me this long drawn out speech about, I really liked you. You're a good person, but I just wasn't physically attracted to you. I'm like, was that before or after you tried to make a pass at me? Was that before or after you saw me online and then chose to see me in person? Was that before or after I turned down moving forward with you intimately? Because if that's the case, I'm not buying what you're selling. So anyway, that was his spiel about it, and I thought it was because I put on a bunch of makeup. Now, since it was cold outside, I wasn't prepared to go on a date, so my wardrobe was not up to par, and the outfit that I chose wasn't like showing off my body or nothing like that. I was super covered up with a coat on the entire time, because the place that we went, we sat down, played Uno, drew, things like that, and there was no way for us to dress warm. So dress like comfortably or like no cute outfit or nothing. So I just had on a onesie, actually, like a baby. I had on a jumpsuit and a coat. So what I was wearing, it wasn't like my best dress, but I still felt like I was cute enough and comfortable. He was like, "Oh, I'm just not physically attracted to you, and that's not something that I can, I guess, disregard." He was like, "But you're a great person. Like, I really get along with you. We could still be friends." And I'm like, man, what was it? Was it because I had on too much makeup? And I asked him, I was like, when did you decide this, that I wasn't physically your type? Because that wasn't what you've been telling me this entire time. Granted, people lie to save face. He ended up posting a post of him and a woman dating, and I realized like, oh, he wasn't really divorced. But long story short, I thought it was because I had on too much makeup. So since that date, I have been trying to figure out what my look is, where it's not too much, but then at the same time it feels comfortable to me. But I also thought I don't need to please nobody, because to each their own. One person's trash is another man's treasure. That's such a true statement. He might have thought like, I don't know, maybe he thought that the pictures that he saw was natural. Like, this isn't my hair. Maybe he thought that because one thing he did express that he's not used to dating any females outside of like the Hispanic race, and he's my color. So, but anyway, he's not used to dating anyone outside of the Hispanic Latino race. And I guess he assumed that my hair was my hair, and he realized that it was not my hair, and he didn't like it. Some men don't like people that wear wigs or weaves. Totally fine. But I just like to know, because I'm going to analyze things and change them. I like to know where I can improve for the next person or the next situation. And he didn't tell me. He just said it wasn't physically attracted. So I just assumed maybe I had on too much makeup and I didn't do it right. I didn't blend it in. Or maybe my hair just wasn't the coolest. Or maybe it was my outfit. Anyway, moral of the story is, don't judge yourself based off of other people's opinions, because If you like it and they don't love it, as long as you're satisfied with who you are, that's all that matters. And if you can't do makeup, play with it. If you feel good with what you did as the final product, do that. I've been judged a lot throughout my entire life about my choice of style, whether it be from family members, the outsiders looking in, telling me to change things. I've been asked before if the choice of style that I have was because I'm into Halloween. And you can tell from the picture that I just posted, I used to do a lot. And what I do now, I don't think is a lot. I don't think I'm extra about makeup. I don't think I'm extra about my hair. I don't think that the things I choose to do for my style and my purpose are outlandish or anything outside the box. But I do know that I like it when I look in the mirror. And when I see myself, I'm proud of myself. Because the things that I've been through in my life could easily weigh on me and make me look 20 years older than I really am. But I get it all the time that I look younger than what I really am. So I must be doing something right. And I don't need approval from anybody to feel beautiful. So when I play in makeup, I might not have nowhere to go, but sometimes I just play in it because it feels good. And I want to make myself feel good because ain't nobody else doing it. And that's on period, because nobody else deserves to. But I'm not going to continue to seek validation from somebody who was lying in the first place. And I guess I should start posting again about dates, because I do still talk to people, just not to the capacity where I'm documenting good and bad dates, because I don't have that many dates to go on. But I guess it is a part of me getting a life. Getting a life is discovering what works for me, what feels right, and what I can contribute to the world in the end. And if I'm contributing self-improvement, then that's a plus for everybody. Because when I'm my best self, I provide my best self to others. And I think I'm a benefit to this world regardless. I'm a humanitarian. I am a peacemaker. I'm a lover. I'm a giver. I'm a support system. I'm powerful. I am positive. I'm protective. Everything that the world needs sometimes. So if I can hone in on that and act on it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, then this whole world is going to change. And that's always been my goal. Anyway, that's all for today. I'm going to get back to doing what I've been doing. Playing in my makeup. Is there a finished product? I don't know if I'm going to finish my face. I might just wipe this off within the next 5 minutes and call my daughter in here so that she can play in makeup too. Who knows? Or I might finish it and just use it as my thumbnail. But that's all for today. Day number 4 of 30. So far, so good. Tough? Yes. Impossible? No. Dedicated? For sure. I'm trying to get a life. And I'm going to keep finding it until it comes. So, good night and goodbye.